5 NATO carrier strike groups, including the U.S. Navy's newest supercarrier, are patrolling waters around Europe.
Here's a summary of the article.
5 NATO aircraft carrier strike groups are patrolling the waters around Europe, highlighting naval cooperation and the capacity for significant naval operations within the military alliance, the U.S. Navy said. Gregory Huffman, commander of the Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group, said that the deployment is an opportunity to push the ball further down the field and demonstrate the advantage that Ford and Carrier Air Wing 8 bring to the future of naval aviation, to the region and to our allies and partners. The Navy said in a Thursday statement on the carrier operations that each country has its own mission objectives and that it is not uncommon for multiple carrier strike groups to be deployed at the same time since NATO countries maintain a continued presence in waters around Europe. These operations present an opportunity for allied nations to coordinate credible combat power throughout the Euro-Atlantic area while showcasing NATO cohesion and interoperability, Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh told reporters at a Thursday briefing. NATO routinely demonstrates its cohesion, coordinating with multiple international maritime assets at once, Commander of the NATO Allied Maritime Command Vice Admiral Keith Blount said in the Navy's statement. While these operations are regularly scheduled activities and not necessarily a response to Russia's unprovoked war against Ukraine, they come at a time where increased Russian aggression has threatened European and NATO security. NATO has not blamed Ukraine though, with alliance leadership stressing that Russia bears ultimate responsibility as it continues its illegal war against Ukraine.
This post received a score of 52,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Meanwhile, Russia's Black Sea Fleet are patrolling either the murky depths or some cove near Sevastopol.
Just keeping these coves safe in case the enemy wants to sunbathe.
Well, the sunlight isn't going to just denazify itself now, will it?
Liberating the crabs from Nazism.
Go land crabs.
I do not. Go banana.
Huffman was my CO on CVN 74. He was a cool dude and great captain.
Why the fuck couldn't they have done this years ago when I was in the Navy and on sea duty? Imagine the ports they're hitting right now. Fuckers.
They deserve it after being in during COVID. 0 port visits for 2 years.
Ugh. When I was on the bush in 14 we had to skip 2 port visits a row because of ISIS rising up. Nearly 3 months straight with no port visits. We were all stir crazy. I can't imagine an entire deployment.
Walk softly but carry a big stick doctrine seems to be meshing well with test that assumption at your earliest convenience doctrine.
Is that test that assumption at your convenience part a Jean-Luc Picard quote? I know the speak softly and carry a big stick is Roosevelt.
Yes, it is. Captain Picard, Sir Patrick Stewart, the only man who can make fuck around and find out? Sound like Shakespeare.
In case someone else wants to watch that incredibly badass scene.
Dude will always be my favorite captain, no disrespect to any of the others though. I'd follow Picard into a Borg cube without batting an eye as long as I wasn't wearing a red shirt.
There's a reason he was captain of the Federation flagship.
Which is actually an interesting tidbit. He had only commanded one ship prior to the Enterprise, the Stargazer. Which was old, small, and could be, don't know actual numbers, crewed by 40 people. So despite Picard having a relatively noteworthy career on the Stargazer, it was quite the jump to command the Enterprise. Starfleet has hundreds of ships at this time, most newer and bigger than the Stargazer, which implies hundreds of captains to choose from. Not really a point here, but interesting to think about.
It's what you don't see that is actually frightening. 5 battle groups means there's quite a few submarines out there lurking beneath the waves. 2 to 4 per battle group. Also more than 20 surface ships per group. At least 3 of those ships have nuclear weapons, not including the subs.
The French group Charles de Gaulle have nuclear weapons, and Rafale to deliver. Mission Antares for our naval group start the 15th of November with US and Greek Navy. Our destroyer Chevalier Paul joined USS Gerald Ford.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.